Common signs of a person given to harboring too much self-pity include, number 1, you find it hard to laugh at life and at yourself. Taking yourself too seriously and finding it difficult to laugh at your predicaments and defeats are telltale signs of self-pity. Number 2, you tend to crave for drama. You have a melodramatic streak that stems from extremist types of thinking. Example, black and white plus all or nothing mindsets. Number 3, you tend to crave for sympathy. Self-pity is so addictive because it gives us the momentary pleasure of being supported, cared for, and emotionally pampered. Unfortunately, this is an unhealthy way of developing emotional bonds and connections with other people. Number 4, you tend to be an individualist. Self-pity is one of the most effective ways of keeping yourself separate and independent from the friends, family, and people around you. Number 5, you tend to be a past-orientated person. Some people live in the present, others live in the future, and still, others live in the past. Self-pity is closely linked to past-focused mindsets that dwell on events that happened a while ago. Number 6, you have low self-esteem. People with low self-esteem tend to crave the acceptance and affection of other people as a way of feeling better about themselves. The presentation of having a tragic life story that self-pitying people often talk a lot about creates an excellent way of collecting flocks of supporters. Number 7, you have a melancholic temperament. I've written about the melancholic, sanguine, choleric, and phlegmatic temperaments before. The melancholic temperament, in particular, is given to bouts of brooding and deep introspection, which can serve as a perfect breeding ground for self-pity. Number 8, deep down, you don't believe you're worthy of love. This stems from low self-esteem and creates a cycle of self-destructive behavior. Self-pity is one of the greatest tools for the self-destructive person. It creates self-fulfilling prophecies and alienates all the people you love and admire from you. Number 9, you have an unhealthy habit of being self-absorbed. Quite simply, the more self-absorbed you are, the more likely you are of falling into the trap of self-pity. Number 10, you have a strong fighting instinct. Having a strong fighting instinct can be a good or bad thing depending on what you choose to use it for. When used in a negative sense, the fighting instinct is used to battle against life. Fight against the tide, and fight against accepting reality. Number 11, you subconsciously feel guilty. Often, self-pity is an unconscious way of avoiding taking responsibility for personal actions or decisions made in the past. When we find it too difficult to accept the wrong that we've committed, sometimes we tend to hide from it by making ourselves the victims, rather than other people. In this case, self-pity is the perfect self-defense mechanism. Conclusion: laugh at yourself and at life. Not in the spirit of derision or whining self-pity, but as a remedy, a miracle drug. Feeling sorry for yourself is normal. But oftentimes this habit can cause us to avoid taking personal responsibility and bypass taking action. Self-pity can also be a false substitute for love from others. But by learning how to practice self-care and adjust your mindset, you can create a life environment that nourishes and supports you in the deepest way. If you've discovered that you struggle with this issue, be kind to yourself. Understand that self-pity is a maladaptive coping mechanism, but one that you can remove from your life with time, persistence, and patience.